Welcome back to Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. This is Erin. So today's podcast is inspired by Matt and my check-ins. So we started doing this 15-minute check-in, at some point during the day. We do it every day. We might miss a day here and there, but for the most part, we do it every day. We started doing this because we're kind of on different schedules. You know, our relationship is awesome. We've worked so hard to have what we have, but we're very we have our own lives, we have our autonomy, and then we come together and we enjoy each other and we love each other. And then there's certain things that we work together on. So I found that I was missing him in a certain way, and we talked about it and tried to unpack it. And it came down to because a lot of times we don't have dinner together because, it's he likes to eat a certain way, I like to eat a certain way. And then beyond that, even we could probably work with that. But we eat at different times because he's doing jujitsu or I'm teaching yoga or going out with friends, so it just didn't really sync up. But the thing about having dinner together that I was missing was the conversation, the sincere check-in, hey, what's really going on with you? Matt likes to call it an inner weather report. And then even just talking about your day, even the mundane, seemingly mundane things. I don't know about you, but sometimes, I'll think, oh, well, gosh, I have nothing to say. But then you start talking and then all this great stuff comes out, or thoughts or, considerations or introspection that you've had throughout the day. And so we decided to show up for this. And it's made a huge impact on our relationship. We have been working so hard these past few years. And if you're listening to this and you've been listening from the beginning, you've seen me go through different relationships and different ups and downs. So what makes our relationship work is that we have taken the time and the space to use different tools. Everything from, we do our, it's called date, maintenance date. We do that once a month where we check in with each other and just kind of talk about uncomfortable stuff like bills and upcoming things and hey, I really want to discuss this with you. I've seen that this is a pattern. Can we talk about it type stuff? We started doing that. We use everything that I teach in my relationship toolbox, which is in my coaching program, which, by the way, I have just a few more spots for January. If you want to come and change your life, if you want to deepen your relationships, if you want to heal wounds within you, my coaching program is the fucking bomb. I work so hard on this thing and I'm always updating it and improving it. So if it's something that you're interested in, reach out to me, Erin at erincoach.com. You can go to thriveyogafit.com. Starts January 20th and goes 8 days and includes a 6-month mentorship. So Matt and I do different things to, continually improve our relationship, look at our own patterns, look at ourselves, and, keep showing up. Sometimes that's uncomfortable. So we've created space to be able to work through the discomfort. And these little check-ins are mostly sweet. So the little check-ins is kind of think about it as an after dinner mint that you get to savor and enjoy. So since we started doing these 15-minute check-ins, I have found that when we take our dates together, we have 2 dates a week. That's something that we started right from the get-go. Which I just want to say, it's surprising, and I get everyone's life is different, but your romantic relationship has to have some sort of priority in your life. And sometimes I talk to couples and I'm like, oh yeah, our date night, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, date night? I'm like, yeah, we have 2 date nights a week. We have Wednesdays and Saturdays, and sometimes we'll negotiate different days if we have something else going on. And they're like, wow, we haven't had a date in months. And I'm like, are you kidding? Because it is a time for us to put everything else away and be able to focus on each other. Because I fucking love that dude so much. And he loves me, and life can get so busy. Maybe you can relate to this. Aren't there people in your life that you fucking love so much but somehow time passes, it slips through your fingers, you feel less connected to them. And then, maybe you still love them, but it's like the relationship isn't there. A relationship is something that you have to work at over and over again. You have to refine, you have to, obviously your romantic relationship, you're going to spend a lot of time with, hopefully. Your friendships are something that, talking about uncomfortable things and making time and prioritizing is important too, checking in, and what you put in is what you're going to get out of it. So we have our dates. We have our 2 date nights a week. And then we also have, again, our 15-minute check-in. So the 15-minute check-in is important because, again, even if you feel like you don't have anything to say, you start talking about mundane stuff and then all this important stuff comes up. And then it's like you get to release all the stuff you built up from the day. At least for me, it's just like, I will have a tendency to try to figure out things myself because I've had to be resourceful my entire life, being an entrepreneur, being a kind of like, on your own type, hands-off parenting type child. So I think I had held on, this is a very breathy H, held on to things longer than I needed to because I didn't process it fully. But check-in time for us is like to talk about ruminations. Maybe it's stuff that I had an opinion about, I haven't processed. And I think Matt's that way too. In fact, I know he is. And so it's, for us, it's like this check-in of like, hey, I've looked at this, I picked this apart a little bit, but here, look at my puzzle. Maybe you have a word to say about this, or maybe you're just listening, and maybe I'm just expressing to you, and that feels really good. Getting to know the internal state of a person that you care about is a gift. And certainly having somebody else listen to what's going on in your life is also a gift. And I find that it helped us to bond our lives together because, again, we're very independent. We have our autonomy. He has his job, I have mine. We kind of crisscross a little bit in our lives. But I found that when we would go to take our dates, we were already so connected that it was just like 2 ducks already moving their feet, and they just put them in the water and they just swim together in perfect pacing and synced up. So I wanted to tell you all about it because in case you're not checking in with whether it's a friendship or whether it's a partnership, just life is busy, and after losing my mother last year, and maybe you've lost someone close to you recently, it's like life just passes like that. And so prioritizing, making time, you can make time for 15 minutes. Everybody can make time for 15 fucking minutes. So I feel like cursing a lot today, apparently. So, that's my check-in for today. So if you have a relationship that you care about in your life, maybe say, hey, do you want to do a 15-minute checkup per day? And maybe, whether it's on the phone or a Zoom call or even better in person, and just talk about your day. I think it's important for everybody to have that. And so have a buddy, or if it's your romantic partner, heck, maybe it's a parent. It's so healing. It's such a wonderful way to just let go of the stuff from your day and, appreciate each other for being human, and then find a heart connection. So 15-minute check-in. Try it. Let me know what you think. If you're interested in coach school, also let me know. I hope you have a great day. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast and if it's helping you, please consider writing a review. You can go to iTunes or Google Play, go into the search bar and type in Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, scroll down, and you can leave a review. This helps other people to find me as well as bumps us up in the search ratings. Also, this podcast is sponsor-free, so that means we don't receive anything for doing it.
If you feel so inclined and this podcast is helping to support you and you want to return the favor and help to support any production costs of the podcast, feel free to give a donation to a Venmo link, Thrive Yoga Fit, or PayPal, Erin@erincoach.com. If you don't have the means, don't worry about it. We're not going anywhere. You're all good. But if you would like to give back, you can give back in those ways. Last thing, we have a coaching certification coming up, and it's 7 days of an intensive work, followed by a 3-month mentorship. You will not find another teacher that's more passionate and dedicated than I am to my students and their learning. And not just their learning, but the application and how they show up in their life. If you've been listening to this podcast and it's had a huge impact on your life, just imagine what it would be like to spend 7 intensive days with me and then a 3-month mentorship. You can check that out at thriveyogafit.com/coach-certification. Again, thriveyogafit.com/coach-certification. Thank you so much. Namaste.